Good night. My name is Youri Kemp, and I am the Democratic National Alliance candidate for Garden Hills, and I am ready for service. It is with warm gratitude and humble thanksgiving that I address this convention tonight. Not only because my presence here may shock persons that know where I've come from and know my background and my character, but because tonight is a special night. A night where we have decided to congregate with people of like mind, people that want change, people that want openness and transparency from their government, people that want a clear pathway forward for their family in this great country we call the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, people that are tired of the status quo and having to place their dreams on hold because their country has lost its dynamic flair. We are here tonight, friends, because we see it, we feel it, we live it, and we have had enough of it. And tonight, we have decided that change is what is needed for the Bahamas, and it is needed now. I'm here to tell this convention tonight that Youri Kemp and the DNA team of Garden Hills is ready now for service. And our mission is clear, and there is nothing that can deter us from that mission. On behalf of the team of Garden Hills, and on behalf of myself, I wish to thank the leadership of the DNA, from our leader, Mr. Brandon McCartney, our deputy leader, Chris Mortimer, our chairman, Mr. Andrew Wilson, the members of the Candidates Committee, and this Convention of the Willing gathered here tonight for allowing me the opportunity to share in this team leadership that will usher in a new era of Bahamian prosperity and a new era of growth for our country. Our campaign in Garden Hills has been nothing short of spectacular, and I am proud of the team we have created, the way we are moving forward from strength to strength, and how we have dedicated ourselves to ensuring that we will win the next general election, making sure that we make Garden Hills green, and making sure we keep Garden Hills green. As a citizen of this great country, growing up with a single parent, starting off at St. John's College High School and ending at the London School of Economics, and having worked for the Inter-American Development Bank and being a small business owner myself, I have seen some good days, friends, and I have seen some bad days. But today, I stand before you and say that these days today are not our best and brightest days. Friends, we have a country where the majority of us are shut up from the economic pie. We have a country where there appears to be a glass ceiling and no one understands why it's there, and particularly a glass ceiling in a black-owned country and a majority black country, a country that has fought off racism, that has fought off segregation of blacks and whites, and a country that has fought off and still fighting off to this day the unequal rights of women. Friends, it is with great pride that I tell this convention tonight that this Democratic National Alliance Party has gladly accepted a challenge to that fight, and it is a challenge we will win, and we will win resoundingly. This is not a boast, friends. This is not wishful thinking by so-called wannabe politicians or pie-in-the-sky dreams of the unwashed masses. It is a battle we will win, and we will win, and that's just the way it's going to be. Fighting for the economic rights of Bahamian citizens, it is something that the Democratic National Alliance has been doing and will continue to do. From our beginnings, we have been championing the cause for greater access to the levels of economic prosperity in this country, and also a greater access to the control over the means by which we can do for ourselves and not have someone do for us that we wish not done. As a DNA member and candidate, I stand here affirm to you tonight the fundamental things we must achieve and we must stand by when we become the government of this Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We must stand for the upgrade and systematic change in the way we do business, from the Bahamas Investment Authority right on down to how we dispense social assistance to those needy and less fortunate than ourselves. We will implement anti-corruption legislation, and we will also commit to a national procurement agency that the government, we will oversee the administration of government contracts and government works. It gonna happen. Friends, we must also undergo a thorough audit in the Ministry of Finance and accelerate the plans for a modern financial management system. A financial management and reporting system is needed for this country, because that's the way we need to track the performance of our government's finances and economy. While simultaneously, while this is happening, it will keep future governments accountable and thinking twice before they undergo wasteful spending projects. By doing these simple things, friends, our starting points, we begin the process of reducing the public debt, exposing the hidden financial pockets within the system where money goes missing and unaccounted for, and in doing so, we will be able to create the fiscal space so we can channel that back into the economy into proper and productive ways that would give entrepreneurs and businesses the kind of support they so desperately need. Along with giving entrepreneurs the leg up that they need, we must also find ways to use all means and resources we have around us to empower our people substantially. And in doing so, we must and absolutely will amend the International Landholders Act that has caused the price of land to skyrocket in this Bahamas. We will create a proper land bureau and a land registry that is transparent and responsive to authorities other than those within the office of the Prime Minister. These things, along with working more closely with the Central Bank of the Bahamas, will go a long way in making land and home affordable for Bahamians and giving families the type of leverage and stability they need to grow their communities, their businesses, and establish themselves in this country. And it is something a DNA government will do. At the same time, delegates, the DNA must and will commit to sweeping energy reform that brings down the cost of your electricity. From liberalizing the oil import sector to investing in cleaner burning technologies that keeps our environment clean, it is something that we must do as a priority, and a priority that simply cannot be held off any longer. Friends, we must recommit also to the idea of Freeport and its economic zones. But we must also not be afraid to open up new channels, new economic zones, and new incentive-based regimes on the island of Grand Bahama. We will commit to expanding our information technology systems and sector with a view in mind to investing in the future, and with that, the implementation of a universal backbone for all service providers, in addition to making the business atmosphere suitable for creating a technology park on the island of Grand Bahama. Also, friends, we must commit vigorously to the growth and diversification of both our tourism sector and our financial services sector, and allow for licenses for any and all opportunities in these areas, from boutique hotels that are Bahamian-owned on our family islands to newer products in the financial services sector, and in turn the financial services sector and the Bahamas into the hub that it should have been 15 years ago. Changing the ownership dynamic of the financial services sector to allow for more Bahamian-owned businesses, and also creating a new relationship with the central bank, the central government, and the financial services sector that works in concert with one another and not against one another. Equally as important to these few core things, we must commit wholly and solely to the way we handle the public's interests and resources. Not only must we undertake the necessary works towards exploiting all of our natural resources, from research to the provision of licenses for any and all that wish to apply, but we also need to put in place a proper management structure that can handle the development in these areas we have classified as natural resources. We must not only commit to creating a ministry responsible for natural resources and the environment, but we must also commit to a public management corporation of the Bahamas that is tied to a true sovereign wealth fund, with a view in mind to managing all the interests that the government has any financial stake in, or any quasi-government corporation that operates as a business with the majority stake owned by the Bahamas government. I want to tell the Bahamian people here tonight, those in this audience here this evening, and those watching by television, I am here to serve notice to those that want to keep the status quo of underperformance and lack in this country. I am here to tell you tonight, I'm looking right at you right now tonight. I am here to tell you that you will lose and we will win. The future of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is for the prosperity for all of us now and all of us tomorrow, and not for you to fret it away. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.